Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
81 years after the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, we are still honoring the legacy of America's greatest generation. And someone who knows what it means to honor the legacies of those who have served is Gary Sinise. You probably know him as Lieutenant Dan, but for veterans and their families, helped through the Gary Sinise Foundation, he is a patriot with a heart of gold. And now, for the first time since COVID, the Gary Sinise Foundation's cornerstone event, the Snowball Express, is back in action this week at Disney World, serving surviving spouses and children of fallen soldiers. Gary Sinise joins us now. Sir, what a pleasure and honor it is to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you.
Well, I'd like to start off by recognizing National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. What goes through your mind on days like today, looking back on the greatest generation?
Many things. I had two uncles who served in World War II. One was in the Navy. The other, a B-17 navigator over Europe. And I've had the great privilege over several years when we started this Soaring Valor program at the Gary Sinise Foundation to travel to the National World War II Museum in New Orleans with hundreds of World War II veterans. And on 6 years ago, on the 75th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, I had the great privilege of traveling with 50 World War II veterans, many of them Pearl Harbor survivors, for the celebration of the 75th anniversary. I was the Grand Marshal in the parade, and I got to spend all kinds of time with many survivors of Pearl Harbor, and it's just been a great, tremendous privilege to get to know so many of them. I understand that at this particular anniversary, the 81st, we had a 102-year-old World War II veteran travel to Pearl Harbor. You know, we're losing them rapidly as they age. And at the Gary Sinise Foundation, we're doing everything we can to record their stories as much as possible at the National World War II Museum, and to allow as many of them as possible to get down there to the National World War II Museum to see the museum for themselves. These are our great heroes. It's been just an honor to be able to get to know so many of them.
They are heroes, and it's so important to honor them and to remember. I know, as you mentioned, at Pearl Harbor, there were a handful of those survivors there today. Those numbers are dwindling. When you speak with some of these survivors, what are the messages that they tell you, that they ask that you share and continue on, so that future generations understand what they went through and what it means to serve?
Well, there was a wonderful video that was made during the 75th anniversary. It's on our website, actually. And what comes to mind is there's a little shot of me talking to a World War II veteran, a Pearl Harbor survivor, who was in a wheelchair. And I reached down to him and I grabbed his hand and I said, "Thank you, sir, for all you have done for our country." And he looked up at me with tears in his eyes and he just goes, "I wish I could have done more."
Wow.
That's so typical of so many of these great Americans.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. We appreciate all the great work that you do. And we were talking in the intro about the Snowball Express, the event that you put together for families of fallen soldiers. Tell us about that, especially, you know, it's the holiday season, you know, a tough time when you're missing someone, and what that means to them, what it's done for these families.
Well, this particular event for Gold Star Children, it's very much focused on the children of our fallen heroes. This has been around for 17 years. This was our 17th year doing this. It started in Anaheim at Disneyland when some folks just wanted to honor a fallen soldier's wish to have his family go to Disneyland. And so they got together and they scraped up some money together, and they flew many families to Anaheim. And then the following year, they approached me about supporting, and I got involved in 2007. And eventually they moved it to Dallas because American Airlines was the travel sponsor, and Dallas is the hub of American Airlines. And so we moved it to Dallas. We did it there for 9 years, and then we folded the whole program. In 2017, we started the ball rolling to fold Snowball Express into the Gary Sinise Foundation as an initiative of one of our programs, our Relief and Resiliency Program. And the plan was to approach Disney World about bringing the kids to Disney World. So I have a great relationship with Disney from movies and narrations and things I've done with Disney over the years. Great relationship with Disney World. So we approached Disney, and once Disney got on board, and they had to, because, you know, we're talking about bringing over 1,800 people to Disney at
Wow.
one time. Yeah, we this year we actually upped the number of families from 700 to 800 families, 1,151 children. We had over 1,000 hotel rooms. We have volunteers, multiple volunteers that support this event and have for many years. My band plays every single year for the kids. It's usually the finale of the event. And it's just, you know, it's our way of wrapping our arms around these children who have lost a parent in military service, and letting them know that they are not forgotten for what they're going through. You know, the holidays coming up on Christmas time and everything, that can be a very difficult time for a child who has lost a mother or a father. And so this event started very grassroots, and now it's turned into just a massive mega event. Many volunteers, many corporate sponsors. I got a great staff that delivers the goods, and the families just went home today, exhausted from having a great trip.
With so many special memories, no doubt. And that's so awesome that you've been able to increase the number of families that you brought this year. Hopefully, with even more support, you'll get to that point next year, having even more families head out there. Gary, before we let you go, how can our viewers help out? How can they help the foundation and get involved?
Well, this is a special time. We always conclude the year kind of with this big Snowball Express event that requires a lot of funding. That's one of the reasons we brought it under the Gary Sinise Foundation, is we were able to raise the additional money, but we're always trying to raise money because we have multiple programs at the Gary Sinise Foundation, home building programs for our severely wounded service members and resiliency programs. All of that. So you can go to GarySiniseFoundation.org. I encourage you to look at the YouTube channel, which has multiple videos of our programs in action. You get to meet the people we're serving. You get to see these wonderful children who are going through difficult times, and who, through the Gary Sinise Foundation and our many sponsors and supporters, they get to have some joy at Christmas time. So we're always looking for support. I encourage you to go to GarySiniseFoundation.org to see how you can help, and send us a little donation or a pat on the back for trying to do something good for our defenders and their families.
GarySiniseFoundation.org, folks. Gary Sinise, always a pleasure having you here on Prime News. I hope you'll come back soon. We appreciate all the amazing work that you do for our veterans and their families. Thank you.